Dixie, come on. Look, as hard as it is right now, you're just gonna have to try to keep it together, especially for Junior's sake. You know he's angry. He's just acting out. That's all.
He's out? He assaulted a police officer? He stole Adam's car and drove it without a license? He crashed it, and now Haley's afraid of losing her baby?
No, Haley is gonna be just fine. I mean it. They're releasing her, even as we speak.
How do you know that?
Because I've been checking in with Dad. He says she's gonna be okay.
That's a relief. God. I don't think Junior could have taken it if anything had happened to her. He was so upset watching her, be put in the ambulance. Did you see him standing in front of the judge with all his police officers? He looks so small.
Yeah, well, that was a toughie. The good news is the judge decided to postpone the hearing till tomorrow.
Yeah, because they're waiting for results on a drug test, Dad. My son's taking drugs. Or he's being tested for drugs. How did this happen? And why is Adam with him instead of me?
Because he feels ashamed. JR knows he's disappointing you.
Well, I'm disappointing him. I should have seen this coming. It's just because I've been focusing so much on my own life, and now he's just falling apart.
Dixie, kids get in trouble. Take it from me. It's a fact of life. You can't always prevent that.
It's drugs, Dad. He's being tested for drugs.
I know.
What are you thinking? Do you think he's taking drugs?
I think it's a possibility. Dixie, listen. We both know what our children are up against these days.
Yeah, I certainly know what goes on in high school. My kid in grade school.
And it would explain why so much of his behavior has been uncharacteristic lately.
Why does he want Adam with him, though, instead of me?
Oh, well, that's a no-brainer. Come on, how many times has Adam screwed up? And been locked up? He's been down at the station so much lately, they probably give him frequent flyer miles.
All the more reason why I have to get him home.
We have to get him home. Now, I know that he requested that Adam, escort him down to the hospital to get tested, but there's nothing in this world that says you and I can't show up, too.
He doesn't want me there.
I'm not so sure. But I know he needs you there. And I think you need to be there, too. I know I do.
Uh-huh. Let's go, kid. Time for your moment of truth.
I'll be right here, JR.
Where's JR?
What are you doing here? He didn't want you to come.
I know he didn't, but I came anyway. Do you mind? I'd like to know what's going on.
We don't think JR should be calling the shots, especially when he's in this kind of trouble.
Oh, so the two of you think he's drugging now?
I think it's a possibility certainly worth exploring.
Well, if that were the case, but it isn't. JR's problems spring from the two of you.
It's amazing. You've really got some nerve, Adam. You've brought chaos into Junior's life every time you've decided to be a hands-on father. And even when you decided that you didn't, like last summer when you told him to get the hell out of your life. And do you know what I did? I told him not to give up on you. I told him to hang in there not because I trust you, but because he needs to know his father loves him. That his father isn't going to give up on him.
I won't. But I think you have.
I am never going to do that.
Damn straight. You want to do the right thing by your son? Stop screwing around. Send him home with his mother tonight.
Joe, how is she? Haley has a ruptured disc. Take her inside, please. I love you, sweetheart.
Well, if you mean that, then you'll keep your family away from her, right?
Adam, can I see you? Haley needs complete bed rest for the next several weeks, possibly even longer. And the baby? Baby will be fine, so long as Haley stays calm and so long as she stays in bed. So I have to ask you, you willing to do whatever you can to make that come about? Even if it means keeping your distance?
Mateo, I'm so relieved that Haley and the baby are okay, and I'm so sorry about everything that happened. If there's anything that I can do, I could come by the house, I could bring groceries or run some
Dixie,
errands for you. I'd be really happy to.
I know you mean well, but I'm not trying to keep Haley away from her family for a while. And that includes JR.
JR really loves Haley, and he's really sorry about everything that happened.
I know, but I'm hoping that you'll see him through that, okay? And because she'll try to take him on and make him feel good about it, and I want to take a Chandler sabbatical, and at least until our baby's born. And I hope that you can understand that and respect that.
Of course.
See you later. Well, JR. Well, tell us. Negative, right?
Yeah. The tests were negative.
Of course it was. I, for one, never doubted. Well, JR, come on. Let's get out of here.
Wait a second. I thought you might want to know that Haley and the baby are okay. I know you're really worried about them.
I thought I told you not to come.
Yeah, you did, but I came anyway. Because I love you, and I really care about you. I know that you're in a lot of pain right now. Why don't you just talk to me, you know? Let me help you. Could you come home with me? You know, we could talk all night if you want.
Come on, JR, let's go.
JR can speak for himself.
Right. Let's go, Dad.
Let's go.
Hi.
Hi. Are you alone?
Yes. Adam is driving with JR and Barry, and I just drove here from the office.
Tad didn't come with you?
No, he had some business that he had to take care of at the last minute. I know he wants to be here for you and JR.
Right. How is JR?
I think he's feeling badly about the car wreck and potentially hurting Haley and the baby.
Is he talking about it?
No. Not to me. He's mostly talking on the phone with his friends and listening to music in his room.
I don't care much for the crowd he hangs out with.
They're teenagers.
He's younger than they are. He's more easily influenced. And look at all the trouble he's gotten into.
Do you blame yourself?
Partly. And Adam. Certainly doesn't help that he constantly reinforces that being a Chandler can get you out of anything.
He loves his children. I think that love blinds him sometimes.
I just don't want JR falling down because of our mistakes.
Well, we survived our adolescence and we didn't turn out so badly, so. And he took the drug test and you know he's not getting high, so at least that's something to feel grateful for.
Hey! Hi. You nervous?
I'm fine.
Yeah, no cause. The judge will be made to see reason, and the charges against JR will be dropped.
You don't know what the judge is going to say.
Oh, I think I do know. No child of mine is doing time in juvenile detention.
If all parties are present, this hearing will begin.
Your Honor.
Give me a moment. Young Mr. Chandler, may I call you JR? Last week you were scheduled to appear before me to face charges that included interfering with an arrest, attempting to bribe a police officer, and assaulting a police officer.
Your Honor, in light of the fact that Officer Perry has failed to appear, I move that the charges against my client be dropped.
Officer Perry was given a personal day to attend the funeral of a family member, but his sworn affidavit speaks for him. I'm sorry to see that the list of charges against you has grown. Failure to appear in court, operating a motor vehicle without a license, reckless endangerment. JR, I find your blatant disregard for the law most disturbing.
Your Honor, no one denies that my son has made some rather bad judgment calls, but there are extenuating circumstances. If you would indulge me for just a moment...
Mr. Chandler, it's understandable that you'd come to your son's defense, but I've heard your version of events. Now I'd like to hear what your son has to say for himself. Young man? Your academic record was excellent until you were suspended from school for cheating. Since then, you've had several run-ins with the law. Can you tell me what triggered this sudden downward spiral? How does a boy who's never had any real serious trouble explain such reckless, self-destructive behavior?
I don't know, sir.
You can do better than that.
Look, I messed up. Okay, I mean, the whole thing with the car accident, I realized that I could have hurt somebody, or even killed my sister or her baby.
And how does that make you feel?
Sorry. Extremely.
You risked your own life as well as your sister's.
I don't know. I guess my head wasn't just wasn't screwed on straight or something.
Did that have anything to do with your outburst in my chambers?
Look, when I saw my mom standing up for Dr. Hayward, I just flipped.
That's all you have to say in your defense.
Your Honor, if I may, the situation J.R. finds himself in is the direct result of his mother's own reckless behavior.
Wait a minute, I never said it was my mother's fault.
Dixie Martin has been a responsible parent figure to J.R. for most of his life.
Parent figure? I'm his mother.
However, she chose to abandon her parental responsibility so that she could indulge in an extramarital affair. This woman is an unfit mother.
I am not an unfit mother.
Mr. Shire, might I remind you, this is not a custody hearing.
I realize that, Your Honor, but you asked why this ordinarily well-behaved young man started having run-ins with the law.
If such reasons exist, this court wants to hear them.
Her affair with the infamous libidazole poisoner was the source of tremendous stress and embarrassment for my client.
Would you call Barry off? Do you see what he's doing,
Mrs.
JR?
Martin was unable to provide the guidance, the moral guidance that her son craved at this particular stage in his life. Now, Your Honor, is it any wonder
I'm serious.
that
Call
this young
him off.
man, so troubled, would vent his frustration, his rage, his resentment towards his mother with these acts of unlawful mischief? They were cries for help. But it's hard to hear cries for help when you're cavorting with your lover in his hotel room. If Your Honor is looking for the true guilty party here, it is Mrs. Dixie Martin.
Oh, why don't you shut up? For God's sake, you're out of order.
Judge Stanton, forgive me. I'm sorry. I apologize. I mean no disrespect for you or your staff. It just seems to me that you've heard this little aria about Dixie's guilt before, and you got to trust me, sir. It's just a patented load of dreck.
Your Honor, this man has no business at these proceedings.
I have as much right to be here as you do, and you know it. I helped raise that boy. I've loved him as my own since he was a week old, and I don't care what the law says. I am every bit as much a father as Adam Chandler. And as far as Dixie Martin is concerned, she is the best possible parent that he could ever hope for.
Your Honor?
Just sit, please.
Your Honor, as I was saying when we were interrupted...
What you were doing was regurgitating the same load of spume he always pays you to regurgitate. Why don't you shut up and sit down?
The judge will determine that.
I can speak for myself, Mr. Shire. Sit down. Mr. Martin, it is my understanding that you and your wife are separated.
Yes, sir. It is.
Yet you're here to speak on her behalf.
No, my wife doesn't need me to defend her. I'm here to speak on Junior's behalf. Because he's angry, and he's very disappointed in us, and he's hurt. But that doesn't change the fact that Dixie has always been there for him, no matter what, when other people weren't. Because I can assure you, when he was 6 years old and he had the croup, it wasn't Mr. Shire over there that spent the night on the steamy bathroom floor reading soggy comic books, praying he would take a decent breath. And I'm fairly sure that Mr. Adam Chandler never lost a moment's sleep chasing monsters out from under his bed. Although there were times I swear you had a couple on the payroll. Now, our son is trying to escape, and that makes perfect sense because his family is just falling apart. It's coming down around his ears, and he never got a vote. And he's in pain. But it doesn't make it right to blame Dixie for whatever he does wrong. It's patently ridiculous to make her the scapegoat because the one constant in that boy's life is sitting right there. Your Honor, I swear, her heart, her soul, her love, her sense of humor was the very core of our family. Yeah, she's made some mistakes, but so have I. And so is this one over here. Trust me, he's made some mistakes. But I don't think that the purpose of this hearing is to sit around and point fingers and start screeching at one another. I believe what we're doing here is trying to help JR. Because you're young and you're scared and you're in big trouble. I know, because I was once there myself, but I was lucky. I was adopted by a family that was prepared to do anything they had to give me a real home. And I swear to God, Your Honor, that is exactly what that woman is to her boy. And shame on you, Mr. Shire. And you for even trying to insinuate otherwise.
I find your recent actions and your disrespect for the law most troubling. Such behavior cannot go unaddressed. Son, it's a fact that life isn't always fair. When it knocks you down, you may be tempted to hit back. I urge you to resist the temptation, because in the long run, you're only hurting yourself. Life has a way of evening out if you give it a chance. Which is why I've opted to give you a chance to do right by yourself and the people who love you and believe in you. I'm sentencing you to 6 months probation, provided you receive weekly counseling and perform 50 hours of community service. I don't want to see you back here again. Court dismissed.
We won.
Well, I think everybody won.
You were wonderful.
I guess you inspired me.
I didn't think you were going to come. Liza said you had a meeting.
I thought I should reschedule considering how much JR needed me.
He wasn't the only one.
I just want you to know one thing. No matter what we're going through, Nothing is more important to me than our family.
You know, I thought for a while that maybe JR didn't need us anymore. Maybe that he'd outgrown us. But I don't think so. I think he needs us more than ever.
Yeah, well, he's standing right over there. Why don't you go remind him?
You look relieved.
Yeah, I guess.
The judge was incredibly fair. But you're not off the hook. You have to do community service and counseling.
I know, Mom.
You know I miss you an enormous amount. I really want things to be back the way that they were. I love you, you know? You know, it's okay to admit that you need me.
Dad was your first mom.
He did us proud.
What do you think this means?
I think it means that he loves you. And that he's always gonna be here for you, no matter what.
Just give him 5 minutes.
Can't afford it. Well, son, shall we go? Lucretia's got a victory dinner prepared.
Actually,
all your favorites.
Adam, I was hoping that JR might come home with me now.
JR's made it quite clear he prefers to live with me.
He'd be better off in juvenile detention.
You stay out of this, Martin.
I don't think so.
Your marriage to Dixie is fractured beyond repair. Liza and I can give JR the stability that he deserves.
Oh, yeah. You're a regular model of stability. Just as rock solid as the Dow Jones and twice as predictable.
And listen, I think that JR and I just need to spend some time together so he can sort of find his way back to me, you know?
Dixie, I think the next time you get that lost, you should eat the breadcrumbs and find yourself a rope.
Long day, huh?
Yep.
Junior is coming home with me.
I guess you're relieved, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You know, you do have a lot of people who really love you.
Thanks, Liza. Excuse me, I'm gonna get something to drink.
How you doing, pal?
Good.
Listen, I know we have a lot of things to talk about and a lot of things to settle. If you come home with me, we can start to try to be a family again. Do you want to just give it a try?
You don't have to worry about me, Mom. I'm not gonna wrap a car around another guardrail.
I believe you. But I don't think that I've been there enough for you like I should have been, and I'd like to make it up to you.
You don't have to. Really.
JR, who do you want to live with?
My stuff is already at Ted's house, Mom. So I guess I should just stay there.
Well, now that's settled. Let's go home and celebrate.
Thanks, Dad, for everything you said.
I meant every word.
Excuse me.
Well, I'm certainly sorry he's going to go live with Adam. But he seems more like his old self.
You think so? I'm not so sure.